I can't continue doing this every day.
Oh my gosh.
That's really good. Oh my gosh. That was so cute.
Weirdos. So weird. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and I'm over at the pond today. We haven't done any kind of projects at the pond in a little while. I guess really since I installed the feeder. The pond is a little bit low right now. Not more than about, 8 or 9 inches, something like that. But it's been fairly dry for the last month and a half. I do want to show you a few things. But first, I think I'm going to go out here, throw a little feed out. Look at all the minnows. There are hundreds and hundreds of little minnows everywhere. And as a matter of fact, Houston caught his first bass out of the pond the other day, which technically is a recycled bass that he had caught before and put in here, but I wasn't home. He came over here with one of his buddies, and they were fishing off the dock and caught about a 8-inch long bass. But there are just hundreds of minnows. But one thing I was going to show you, a lot of folks were worried about vegetation. When we built the pond, a lot of you said, what are you going to do about vegetation in your pond? Are you not going to put any kind of vegetation in it? And look at this. This pond is only a few months old, and it's already starting to get some really good underwater vegetation in there. And those minnows are all using it as cover, which is exactly what we want. I don't want a lot of moss and algae and things, but stuff like that, I'm not real sure exactly what that's called. It looks similar to coontail moss, but I'm not sure that that's what it is. But I don't know if you can see them, but hundreds of minnows. And I come over here, not every day, but pretty regular. I've got the feeder going off 3 times a day now, and I'm actually trying to get it emptied so I can put the legs. I did finally come up with the legs for this, and I do think it's important to put the legs under it, because what I'm noticing with this feeder, the bottom down there is made to let the dust come out when this feeder goes off. It's you see all those little holes, all the fine dust can come out. Now it's building up in there and starting to mold. So I will put the legs under this thing as soon as I get it emptied out, and we're just a few days from that, so move that out of the way. But when I come over here, I like to just throw some feed in the water, because when the feeder goes off, it'll throw it, I don't know, almost to those stobs sticking up over there, and you really can't see the fish. So a lot of the little bluegill all hide all around this dock because it's really good cover. And I did put some brush and stuff under, that's under the dock and all along the dam when I built it. But I thought maybe with it being bright today, you guys could see a few of them. There's not that many right now. It's kind of an odd time of day, I guess, but typically when I come over here in the evenings, there'll be just a swarm, a cloud of little bluegill and all kinds of minnows and stuff come up to eat. So they're growing, they're doing good. And actually Houston's been catching a few of those. He's caught 3 or 4 small bluegill, like 3 to 4 inches long on a tiny little jig. There's more in there than you think. I mean, there's a lot. They're just really hard. Oh, there's the sun. Now you can see them. The sun was behind the clouds and you couldn't see them. So anyways, lots and lots and lots of little bluegill, and they are growing fairly fast, really, considering most of them were only like 1 to 2 inches when we put them in. There's a lot of bluegill in here in that 3 to 4 inch range now, so they're growing. But I do think I'm going to work on a decent project. One of the situations I've got here, one of my goals when I built this was I wanted to be able to drive all the way around the pond. But the back side of the pond, as you know, is way back in the timber. But I've got a lot of area on the back side that I really struggle to access. I've got a road that runs the property line all the way back behind the pond. But when I had the old pond, there's 2 ditches that feed this. So there's one that comes in from that direction and one that comes in from over here. This side's the main one. I can still cross back there because that road is far enough, it's behind the pond. This side over here, I can't cross because we flooded the road and it became a muddy mess. So what I think I might do is take one of the leftover pieces of spillway pipe, which is just the same thing as a plastic culvert, like a tin horn, and make me a crossing back there. I'll bring the Cotto mini excavator over here and cut it out, clean out a spot where I can actually make a crossing, because I really can't access over there very well, and I can't go all the way around the pond. Even doing that, I won't be able to drive all the way around it because, well, let's just go show you what it looks like back in the timber. I need to do a better job of mowing around the pond. I kind of just let it grow this year since we're not fishing or anything. Next year I'm going to really try to do a better job. But here's another shot where you can see a lot of that vegetation. There's so much in here already. Look at all the frogs going everywhere. But you can see there's a lot of moss and underwater vegetation. And I mean, even over here, we're a long ways from the feeder. I can see little tiny minnows everywhere. And this whole setup is without predators. That's why you see so many minnows. The only predator fishing here are the maybe 12 or 15 bass that Houston and Jacoby caught out of the creek and stuff and brought over here. But there's so much good vegetation growing in here. I just kind of wanted to point that out to you guys. And just remember, we have not stocked it with bass yet. We could realistically probably stock it with some bass this fall. I'm trying to remember. We put, I think, 3,000 copper-nosed bluegill, 40 pounds of fathead minnows, and 40 pounds of golden shiners in the pond. It was either 30 and 30 or 40 and 40. I can't remember, but there are literally thousands and thousands of bait fish, and Kelsey's chasing the hundreds and thousands of frogs out here right now. So much food for the bass. But the goal was to put the bait fish in here in the spring and let them multiply, spawn several times throughout the summer and fall, hopefully, and wait until next spring, until the bluegill are more well established and bigger size, that they don't get wiped out, and then come in here with some bass. But I've not really shown you guys the pond much lately because nothing's really changed. But when you get over here and start looking at it, there's a lot of changes, just not work that I've completed. You guys see that? Hundreds and hundreds of frogs. Kelsey's going to show us. Look at them all going everywhere. Frogs. You talk about good food for the bass once we do put them in here. Oh my gosh, she's going to be filthy. But you'll notice Kelsey's the only one here. There is no Earl, and that's because I'm still fighting this battle with him. I lost Earl today. I've been fighting with my family over people letting him out, and he runs off during the day. Him and Bear will take off and be gone for hours. I showed you what he looked like the other day when he came back. I do have an e-collar that is Kelsey's for training, and I put that on him. And I've done this several times and not been able to catch him running off. It doesn't do any good once he's gone because he's out of range. Today, I legitimately put the collar on him, put him outside. He walked around the yard to go to the bathroom. Him and Bear took off up the hill. And I don't like the shock collar, e-collar situation that much. And even with Kelsey, we use it on a very low setting. We don't really have to use it much anymore. In the beginning, after going through some training, she did need it a lot. Now, I had her on Earl today. This is not the first time. And he takes off and goes up the hill, and I'm yelling at him, and he doesn't stop. I turned the e-collar up to 10 and lit his butt up. Bad enough that he fell down, started rolling in the dirt, screaming. And I put my shoes on, and I'm running towards him and Bear. He jumps up and takes off running. So I light him up again. I hate this. I don't even like talking about it. I light him up again. He screams, squalls, rolls on the ground, jumps up and takes off running. And I physically could not catch up to him. I chased him half a mile probably. all the while I'm using the e-collar, and it got to the point where I finally caught up with Bear. Bear stopped. Earl kept going. The collar's supposed to have a half a mile range. It's probably more like 300 yards because Kelsey, you're silly. But I could never catch up with him. Like, I ended up having to have my wife come pick me up down the road 3/4 of a mile away, because I would get close enough to him and I could see him every once in a while, and I would buzz him a little bit to get him to stop, and then he would do some circles and spin and run. And it's so strange. Earl's almost 5 years old, I think, and he's been the most perfect, amazing dog until this summer. And I don't know what has gotten into him, but he's about this close from pushing his limits with me. What is it, Kelsey? Huh? So this is that underwater dam that we built, basically to stop the sediment and the fill from coming in. So we dug it out over here. It's pretty deep, probably 6-8 feet deep, maybe a little deeper than that over here. Comes up on a big hump. There's like a dam. If you'll remember, we used to drive across that when it was dry, and then falls off again. And you can see where the moss, algae, and stuff is starting to grow out there. So there will be a lot of trees and all kinds of structure that I put in the pond for bass and fish and all the things to hide in. But also the vegetation is naturally coming back on its own. We don't have to introduce that. It's just part of nature. It comes in on, the legs of birds like the blue herons and ducks and geese and all the birds that fly in, migratory birds and stuff. And some of it's just naturally here. There was a pond here. It's going to come back. And right now it's not excessive, and it's some pretty good vegetation out there. There's some nasty looking algae stuff on the top, but we will probably come in and do like we did in the past next spring and stock some tilapia in here, because the top tilapia help control some of that. But anyways, I wanted to walk back here in the back of the pond in the timber and kind of show you guys what it looks like, because remember, we're trying to build a pond that's not necessarily just for looks. It's a bass fishing / duck hunting project. There are frogs everywhere. So I do think eventually I'd like to come in here and actually have a little bit better trail, bring the excavator and skid steer in here and take some of the smaller trees out so that we do have somewhat of a road around the pond. But I want you guys to just imagine this. I know a lot of you are not bass fishermen or duck hunters, but over the next few years, these smaller trees will rot and fall out and fall in the water and kind of disintegrate, rot. But some of these big ones are going to be here for decades. But back in here, when the bass start spawning and stuff, it is going to be an unbelievable fishing spot. This thing turned out so neat. I don't think I could have been, I couldn't have drawn it out much better. There's a couple things I might change, including, a better road around the pond. But as far as a place to duck hunt and to fish, I just don't think it's going to get much better than what we built. Came back to the house to grab my tripod and get the excavator, and look who shows up. Mr. Dumb Butt himself. These cuckleburs are going to be real fun getting out of your hair. If I don't get them right now, they will be a nightmare. He's been gone for a couple hours. Look at this. Oh my. And can you even comprehend how annoying of a problem this is? Look at the stick tights in his hair. Cuckleburs. Like, I can't continue doing this every day. It used to be a once a month kind of thing. He would sneak off with Bear, and it has become an everyday problem, and I'm not doing it right now. So forgive me for the leaf covered sidewalks. Hey, Earl, come on. You're staying in the garage. Go. So the amount of time that I have to spend washing him, brushing all those stick tights. I say we as in the family, period, in general, whoever wants to do it. Typically it is me, but the amount of time we have to spend brushing all the stick tights out, washing him, making sure you got all the ticks off of him before he can ever come back in the house. Because like right now, he can't come in the house. And if I leave him outside, he's going to run off again and might not come back for hours and hours. Some days it's 6, 7, 8 hours before we see him again. Today, luckily, I caught Bear. He got scared and he didn't continue to run. So Earl was by himself for the last 2 hours or so, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. And my concern is he's going to get attacked by a coyote because he's an idiot. Pure and simple. And I hate it because I love the dog. He's been a great dog until this. And this is becoming a huge problem. And he's a contributing factor because Earl doesn't run off unless Bear is outside on the porch. If Bear's down at the barn with the donkeys or in pasture with the goats, he doesn't run off. Anyways, time to get back to work. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can even really tell, there used to be a road that runs through here, and then I brought the excavator right through here, getting the, 20-foot long tin horn back in here is half the battle. But this is the little ditch crossing that used to be dry, it used to stay dry, but now the pond backs up to here. Now, keep in mind, we're a little bit low right now, not a lot. I would say, like I told you earlier, about 8 or 9 inches. But water comes in from this ditch and this ditch at the same. They kind of meet right here. So the end of my tin horn needs to be somewhere in this little area. But I need to bed a good spot first, and I really need to be able to get back in here with some rock. If I could get the dump trailer back here, I'd load a bunch of creek gravel and bring it. But I want to be able to drive up and around the pond. So I'm going to put this tin horn across right in here somewhere. I don't know. I'm going to have to beg, borrow, and steal some dirt from different areas to put around it and get it down in there. But I don't think I really want to dig a ditch any lower than what it is right now necessarily. But I'm going to scoop out a little bit of mud, kind of level a spot, and lay it in there and start piling dirt around it. I may have to go get the skid steer so I can scoop up dirt from a different area and put in here. But it doesn't look like much right now. But ask Emily. She got the side-by-side stuck here a month or so ago. But when the pond is completely full, the water is, 8 or 9 inches higher than that. So anyways, I'm gonna get to work, I guess. Well, there's the final look. I guess, I don't know. It's not perfect. Could have been better. I think it kept trying to rise up on me instead of staying where it was at. As I would pack and pack and pack, it kept wanting to push up. So it's probably 3 to 4 inches higher right now than what it originally was, where it should have been. But I think it'll probably work out just fine. I do need to probably come back in here and bring some rock and stuff and pile. I need to put a little bit more dirt here. I'm not too worried about this being perfect. I just need to make sure that the water, when it flows down from these ditches, goes in to the tin horn, goes into the end of the pipe. Need to move just a little bit more dirt, but really this is basically just a side-by-side trail, an ATV trail is all it's going to be. So it does not have to be perfect. I've just got to keep the water going into the pipe and coming out of the pipe and not washing out, but we will see. The good thing is this is the smaller inflow into the pond. This is not the main water intake. This little ditch doesn't carry, or 2 ditches actually, don't carry near as much water into the pond as the other one. So we shall see how it holds up. But either way, it now gives me access to bring the side-by-side from that side of the pond around to the back side back here. And, you know, side-by-side, tractor, whatever I need to do, even lawnmowers and stuff, because I do want to do a better job of maintaining around the edge of the pond. Wasn't really super concerned about it this year because, well, we're not really fishing it. Look at all the frogs. Frogs, 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 frogs. Look at them. Everywhere. Hundreds of frogs. But in the future, I want to be able to, you know, mow, whether it's a tractor or a lawnmower or whatever it is, along the edge of the pond. So when Houston and his buddies are around here, they don't have to walk through waist-high weeds to fish. Well, I made it back to the house, did a few chores, gathered a few eggs. I have to go in. Well, actually, I'm probably going to clean up Earl first, but I have to get in the house and clean up myself because we have family pictures this evening. Seems like we're doing a lot of pictures. It's just DJ's favorite time of year to do pictures. She loves them in the fall. So, family pictures this evening. Back to the pond tomorrow to do something, maybe? I don't know. All right, you three. We got family pictures now. Y'all got to be in one. Everybody else is doing their thing. I got 3 kids wrangled. You got your 3 kids wrangled?
I already did that before we got here.
I got those 3 wrangled at the moment. It could really change really fast, though.
Oh my gosh, the dogs, do you see them? All 3 of them. Yeah.
She was on the bottom looking at me. Gemma, where you at? Oh, there she is. Y'all stay there now. You're getting in trouble. Thought you were the photographer lady. Not today.
Not today.
Hire somebody else for family pics, huh?
Yes, it's much less stressful for me that way.
Well, you look really pretty.
Thank you.
You're all legs, but you look really pretty.
Thank you.
Blah, 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 blah. That's what you like to hear, huh? You look really pretty, too. Gemma, don't you run off.
That is bad, dude.
Stay here. Look, these 2 knotheads are being good. What are you doing? You better get back on the buggy. And you better not run off, sir. and try to ruin my day again.
Think of your mom. That's cute. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all look at each other and smile. And then heads back together. And then interlocking and set hold on face.
Y'all being good. Maybe I'll give you a treat later, Kelsey. I gotta go this one and that way.
Yes.
What the hell?
Hey. Emily, you'll have to help. You might have to help direct us.
But I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, she don't know what she's doing. Neither do
Your
I.
dad's gonna put
Are you
her
videoing?
across
Yeah.
his shoulders. See?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
You didn't stay up high.
I did it. There you go.
oh, oh.
Oh my gosh.
Girl, Marissa's
not
straight.
straight.
No, I'm not straight, am I? I don't think I'm straight.
Sorry, Marissa,
Oh,
I'll call you back.
look
I
this
love
way.
you.
Yeah, just like that.
Oh my gosh.
That's really good. Oh my gosh.
That was so cute.
Weirdos. So weird.
I've never seen that.
I'm sorry,
That's
guys.
cute.
It's called the screensaver.
I think I'll find a snake in here. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. You waiting on me? What's up, Charlie? I hear you, Kels. I hear you. So as you can see, it's the next day. Family pictures went great. There was no drama, no fighting between the kids. It's always a good thing. One thing my wife is very diligent about is we do family pictures a lot. Even though she's a photographer, she usually hires a friend, another photographer, to do our family pictures in the fall every year. And I'm glad she does, because we talk to other families and they're like, we haven't done family pictures in 7 years. Or, you know, longer. But anyways, got that out of the way for now. And I was looking over some of the video clips from yesterday of installing that tin horn, and I'm glad I did. I knew the thing was rising up, so as I was dumping dirt and packing dirt, I could see the pipe rising up, but when you speed it up, it was really coming up a lot. And before I left yesterday, let me show you what I did. So the last thing I did before I stopped working yesterday was just park the mini excavator on top of the pipe, because I felt like it was just going to continue to rise up, and it was actually starting to get almost like a bow to it. Like it was lower in the middle than both ends. And it's definitely higher than what I wanted it. Oh, there goes all the frogs. But this end now is for sure lower than this end, and that's the main thing. The water's going to come in over here, and we need it to fall. So, you know, I may end up digging a little bit more of this out on this side just so that it doesn't silt in as fast, but I can always come back in here and clean the silt out. And I do want to bring in some more fill and put on top of this, but I'll probably do some rock, some bigger pieces of rock and things to put here just to hold this in place. But like I said, in the end, it's just an ATV trail, a tractor trail through the woods, really, to get us around, you know, the back side of the pond. So I think it'll be just fine. It's it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like we're going to be using it all the time for vehicles and stuff. Really can't even get a pickup truck back here. That's not the kind of trail this is. So it gives us access to the back side of the pond. I need to come in here, level some of this back out where I pulled some fill dirt out, but then again, it really doesn't matter that much. So it should be fine, and will serve its purpose. And if not, I'll dig it out and redo it. But really, I mean, the biggest problem I had was the bottom of this ditch was just, it was as thin as soup. And I tried to pull a bunch of that out and dig some fresh dirt and put in there, but really it probably needed to be cleaned out, have some gravel brought in to kind of build that up, then set the tin horn, then fill around it. It's not that big a deal. But I did stop by the barn and grab a bunch of artificial structure that I pulled out of the old pond, and I'm going to drop in all around the dock and stuff. There's so many fish, so many bluegill hanging out right there. I think this will just be good to add in there to give them some cover. So I've shown you guys over and over how all the little tiny little minnows that hang out right here next to the shoreline, and that's exactly what these are designed for. These give the minnows somewhere that they can get into and hide from predators. And the problem with these is they catch every fish hook that you drop down. So what I think I'll do is I'll put them on this side, kind of under the walkway and along in here. I mean, I've only got 2 of those, but they like to hang out in pretty shallow water because there's cover right here. I mean, they're just surrounding Kelsey right now, and obviously there's not a lot of predator fish in here right now, but there will be, and we need them to survive. And that type of moss cover right there gives them perfect places to hide and stay safe and everything. But with the fish feeder being over there and where we feed the fish, I need more cover. I need places for bait fish to feel safe right there. So I'll start with these real quick. It's a super, easy installation process. Watch this. Ta-da. I only have 2 of those though. That one's probably a little deep. It still has the old float on it. This one doesn't have the float on it anymore, but oh yeah, it does. It's still there. May do this one a little more shallow on this side. Because nobody's going to be fishing right here, but that's perfect right there. You can see the artificial grass kind of sticks up. Now I do have a lot of these smaller artificial grass. These are perfect for fishing around. The other ones, those wire cages, everything gets hung up, but these things are perfect shallow water cover because they've got chains that sink them to the bottom, and then all this grass just sticks up, and your algae and different things can grow on this that attracts those little bitty bait fish, which also attract the bigger predator fish. All right, so Kelsey kind of muddied the water up a little bit, but you can see those tops of those structures out in here. If the kids do come over here and swim, which I actually have bought a ladder to hang off the edge of the dock. The kids did swim over here some this summer, but that ladder will stick off the front, and it's like 8, 9, 10 feet deep out that direction. So I put these over here in shallower water. Now remember, the pond is just a little bit low. So there's the concrete spillway. So you can see we're a little bit low. So the water will come up another 8 or 9 inches. But I mean, we've probably got 18 inches of good visibility in the water right now. So once that does come up, you really won't be able to see much. And there are already tons of little minnows checking that out. So I kind of just put them along the edge of the dock right here. This big brush pile, you can see the top of it, it's down in there. And typically what happens when I throw feed out, or the feeder goes off, which when the feeder goes off, the fish have to swim out farther. There's a pigeon. We never have pigeons around here. That was weird. Anyways, most of these tiny little bluegill hide out right here under the dock. Let's see if they'll come out and play. Well, I see a few. They're being sneaky right now. Come out wherever you are. They like to make a liar out of me. Sometimes I can come over here and there'll just be hundreds. Sometimes there's tens. There's a few coming out. I don't know if you guys can see them on video, but typically the feeder chunks that feed way out and spread out, and they have to go find it. So I come throw it over the edge, and there's usually just hundreds right here. They're starting to come in. Anyways, this will give them a lot more, the smaller fish, like all these minnows right here, it'll give them a lot more security and safety in a place that they can feel like they're not gonna be eaten. Which the goal is for them to be consumed at some point, but there are just hundreds and hundreds of little minnows. While the pond may be completed, I don't think I'll ever be finished with this project. There's a ton of things I want to do over time. First off, I still don't have a fish screen on here. Hopefully, that's on the list to get done soon, hopefully. But this project will be ongoing for a long time, but building this pond was so much fun. Creating it and transforming what used to be there. It's kind of giving me the urge, the itch for another pond project. Maybe on a much smaller level, but I have an idea. I mean, ain't she a beaut? So this was basically just a cattle watering pond. It's on my neighbor's property that I lease. So I don't own this pond. I'm not going to sink a bunch of money into it. But there are a lot of trees that need to be removed off the dam. I think I could probably get by with, if you can't hear them, you probably can't hear them. There are thousands of bees in these weeds. Whatever these weeds are around this pond, there's bees pollinating everywhere. There's thousands of bees. Anyways, we'd have to rip all that out. But this cattle watering livestock pond was a nicer pond. When I was a little kid, I used to fish it. Now it's pretty much all silted in. There's a little bit of a deep area back there. We duck hunted and killed a few ducks on it last year, but now it's silted into the point where I don't really intend on putting cattle on this property anytime soon. Depending on how long we lease it, we may someday. But this is the main water source when there are cows on this 160 acre property. And as you can see, it is not great. The problem you run into when your ponds get all silted in like this is obviously the water quality goes down, but with all that silt and mud, cattle get in there to drink and get stuck, and you can lose a cow real easily. Now, my neighbor has asked me multiple times if I would be interested in cleaning out the pond to make it bigger or something, and I just, it didn't make sense at the time. But this may be a future project we can work on. We're kind of in a dry season, and it's probably not ever going to be a great fishing destination kind of pond, but it might hold some bait fish, some bluegill and things, and if nothing else, it might become a better duck hunting pond. Excuse me, I got driving through the weeds. I can see the pollen shoot off of these weeds. Anyways, I'm debating on draining this pond and letting it dry out, mainly because my buddy that's got his bulldozer here, if I can get it dried out, he's got a bulldozer and a bigger excavator than mine, and we could kind of partner up on this and knock this out pretty fast. Not make it huge or deep or anything, but just clean all the muck out, clean the dam off, and do, as my wife would say, all the things. So, I don't know. Maybe another pond project coming in the near future. I don't know. We'll see. You guys let me know. Is that something you'd be interested in? A project for the channel? Something interesting to watch? The last pond project was huge on the channel. Those videos, some of the best, most viewed videos that we've ever made, and that whole series did amazing. There's something about creating a pond. It's popular on YouTube for whatever reason, but it's entertaining to watch, I guess. My main thing is I need a project because I don't have enough. Yeah, okay, I've got plenty of projects, but I need a content project, and I love running heavy equipment, or my mid-size equipment that I have. So I don't know, we'll see. So anyways, remember guys, do something today to make somebody smile, because you never know, it just might change the world. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.